Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Barbershop Love Stories, where we highlight the stories of men and get their take on love, dating, relationships, all the things. My name is Lena West, and today my very special guest is James.
Hello.
Hello, James. James, tell us a little bit about yourself.
James. I'm not gonna say my last name because you Google it and it's gonna be 500 of us. But James, 49 years old, second marriage. This one 13 years, first one 1 year. So
Okay. Well, let's dive all the way in then. Your first marriage, where were you at? What was going on in that season?
first marriage was after I got into the military. I was in the Navy
Mm-hmm.
and came home. Bought a house. Had some high school classmates at the house with me, a party house. So you know how men do.
I
Try to
don't.
see who get the most girls for the week.
Thanks for clarifying.
Just when I was young, I was 24 years old, and on the chat line.
Y'all remember that?
If you're from Decatur, everybody knew this chat line: 678-222-2222. 5'9", pecan skin, light brown eyes, slender build type dude, and met somebody and started kicking it. And there was a little drama in between there and there and everything. And she had a daughter at the time who still calls me daddy because I call her my daughter, so she still calls me daddy.
Were y'all the same age?
2 years. She's 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
So, and we had our little arguments and everything, back and forth, type of normal dating stuff.
Was it normal dating stuff or was it toxic? Looking back now,
it was toxic.
Okay.
And so when I finally decided, like, I'm not dealing with this, I'm gonna end it, I get the call, I'm pregnant. Okay. I was raised in a 2-parent home. My dad was home every night, even though he was a long distance road truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
He still made a point to come home every night. If I wake up in the middle of the night and look at my night light, there's a new toy there.
Wow.
I knew my dad been home. He may be gone by the time I get up, but he always came home every night. So when I was told that she was pregnant, what you gonna do? Hit me with, I'm gonna get an abortion. I don't want a baby that's gonna remind me of you.
Oh,
Okay.
Those some fiery words right there.
Yeah. I'm the first person in my family that ever went through baby mama drama.
Mm.
So went through all that, and about 4 or 5 months later, you gonna send me some money for the abortion? Say what? I think you're a little bit too late for that. So tell you what, if you don't want the baby, go on and have the baby, I'll raise the baby myself.
And you're no longer in a relationship at this point. Like,
no longer
we're not talking.
we're not getting phone calls like, how does it feel? No one, I'm with another man with your baby in my stomach, all this type of stuff. Just real toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. So after my son was born, started hanging around there, more often, and got to thinking, like, I was raised in a 2-parent home. My son deserved the same that I was given. So went through all that, married flight. The day we decided to go down to the courthouse to get married, my mom was off work. I said, Mom, we're going to get married. She looked over at me. Good luck.
Mm.
That was the first sign, that first red flag that we're in love. We'll make it work.
Wait, so are you saying at this point the relationship had gotten better?
Yeah, because I was going around trying to be around my son. That was a whole story. I was staying in Norcross at the time, so I'm getting called like 3 times. Like, I'm in Rockdale County, about to have your baby. Get down to Rockdale County. There's no one here by that name. So when she had my son, and she called me, she called my mom first. My mom called me, said, I'm at the hospital. Your son is here. Because it took for my mom to be there for me to say, okay, it's real now.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was time when she called me at the hospital, I just rolled back over, went back to sleep. Because I said, you ain't finna have me driving somewhere in the middle of the night for no reason. So went through all that. And so when my son was born, I'm like, he deserved the same thing I had. So try to work things out, spend the time over there, and say we're gonna make this work. And we got married. My mom didn't go to the courthouse. My son was the only witness. We got into an argument on the way back to my parents' house. So I dropped her off and I went to work.
On the wedding day?
On the wedding day.
Wow.
The wedding night. And going through that issue, first night and at work, young lady said a comment to me. Here it is. Not even married 24 hours and I'm already meeting somebody else.
Wow.
So that went on. It was a toxic relationship. It was a toxic marriage. It was like to where, knowing my dad, I did not put my hand on a woman. My dad caught me and my sister arguing, and my sister slapped me. I mean, she slapped the mess out of me. And
you can still feel it on your face right now.
Feel the sting. I brought my hand back and got up to the pose, and the front door opened. And my dad saw my sister right there, and he saw my fist. That butt whooping I got that day taught me now. I could be years later, if I'm driving down Columbia Drive, I see a dude jump on a woman, I'm getting out the car. I'm not going to sit here and let you jump on this woman, because if my dad drive by, see me driving by and let this happen, he probably going to get me again. So I'm going to stop this.
That was memorable, clearly.
It was very clearly. My dad, he wasn't a violent man. Vietnam vet, grew up in the country, picked cotton. His hands were hard. But it made a point. So back to my first marriage, it got to the point to where she want me to get physical. And I would never do it. I would just either walk out or get called. You ain't nothing but a punk. You ain't gonna do nothing. You don't want me to do nothing. Because if I do something, one of us gonna end up hurt or the other one in jail. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm like, this gotta go. This gotta stop. Went our separate ways. And started paying child support that week for my son.
Wow.
Just off the rip. And of course, she thought it wasn't enough money.
And you would have had your job and then like military money at that point, right?
Well, I'm not getting no military benefits. They said I never went to sick call while I was in the military. So I'm not getting no benefits. Was still working on it, but I got plenty of friends that are getting the full package. They 100% living a great, perfect life, But military, I never went to sick call because I was young and invincible back then, jumping out of helicopters and everything, doing search and rescue. So I did pretty good.
Wow. So you divorced her, dealt with the child support. How long after did you meet your current wife?
We divorced in 2002. I met my wife in 2011. We got married in 2012.
And then during that time, did you just not run into anybody that you wanted to marry, or
I had no intention of getting married again.
Never.
My plan was to be the new Bruce Wayne of Atlanta. I had no intention of getting married again.
Yeah.
And met my wife. My sister was married to her cousin.
Okay.
I was going through some bad times. My sister like, come on, we're going to a party. We're going to a party. You coming with us? I don't want to leave the house. No, come on, you going. All the way out to Snellville.
Hey, y'all, Snellville. Woo, turn up.
To this big house. And I'm like, who is this? Oh, this is Dee's cousin. Okay. I'm like, she's getting her master's degree, so she's, going to the party. Walk in the house, saw her. And to this day, there's a picture on our fireplace of us having a conversation. We both just smiling. And 13 years later, I'm the man of the house.
What happened during that night, though? Did you have something in your gut that said, this is going to be 13 years later?
Nothing really happened that night. We just talked. And a couple of weeks later, there was another house party at another family member. We talked there, and she hit me up on Facebook a couple of nights after that party. Why you never asked me out? Listen, I got this going on. I don't have no job. I got baby mama drama. I don't have no car. I don't have no license. I have nothing to offer you.
Yeah, because on paper,
Yeah.
y'all do not
We do
match
not meet. You got a
whatsoever.
master's degree. You got your own house. You raise
Yeah.
your 3 kids. My kids are not. I'm not in my kids' life. You know, because their mom don't want me to. I
Mhm.
can't do nothing. Nah, this is obvious with me. She said, "You let me decide that.
Mhm.
Let's go out." Okay. Walked around the neighborhood doing odds and ends job, just trying to come up with some money because my dad has always taught me pay for the first date.
Mhm.
Walked around, got the money up, went to Applebee's on Panola Road,
Hey.
and the 2 for $20.
Mhm.
Pull out my little Crown Royal bag full of change, and she was like, "What you doing that?" I said, "I'm paying for the meal. I'll take care of the meal. You take care of the tip." Okay, I got $2 in $2 bills in a Crown Royal bag and a whole bunch of change. Just left the whole bag on the table,
Mhm.
and we went somewhere to play pool, and she spanked my butt in pool. I just like, this don't make no sense. Well, after we got married, went to her parents' house in Birmingham. And what is in the basement? A pool table.
Mm.
I got hustle. Okay,
You got hustled.
I got hustle. You knew how to play pool. So we
Well,
got married. I was just
let me ask you this: since you had no intentions of getting married and you got married, were there any issues that came up that you were kind of caught off guard about?
I will say not seriously for me. It was, because I knew I wasn't the perfect guy, so
Mhm.
it wasn't nothing that bothered me too much. It's just stayed in my lane and kept my head down, try to do better, try to get better. And when I got a real job opportunity, because I jumped around from bounty hunting to physical club security, I did some of everything,
Mhm.
everything but actual law enforcement. But I just hustle and trying to be a better person. And real job opportunities started coming up. Things started getting better and growing. So just kept on going.
Do you feel this marriage is the way that it is because you went through the first marriage? Could you have gotten to this point as a man if you had not experienced the first marriage?
We actually took a marriage class through our church when
Mhm.
we got married, called Radical Love. And the first rule is your spouse is not the problem. So I took a deep dive looking at myself, like what I did wrong in the first marriage, what
Mhm.
I should have done, what I didn't do, all this stuff. And I said, I'm not bringing it to this marriage. This is going to be different because apparently this marriage was meant to be, because we went out on a date to Stonecrest Mall,
Mhm.
walked in the jewelry store, and I'm like, let's get your ring size, just in case, just joking around.
This is way early on?
This is way early. This was in 2011,
Okay, so, like, shortly after you
shortly
met.
after we met.
Wow.
I'm like, well, your ring size. And they ran my credit, walked out with the ring.
Hmm.
So we at a bar, I said, well, I got the ring in my pocket. Pulled a chair out in the middle of the dance floor, asked the DJ, give me a mic, asked her right then and there in front of everybody.
Mhm.
Place went crazy, you know, friends. It was just, I said, this obviously is meant to be.
Did your mother, approve at this point?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
very much. My dad called her, that's my daughter. My mom,
Mhm.
who's suffering from dementia, Alzheimer, when she walks in, hey, Shell, oh, you know her, but you can't remember me and you gave birth to me? But yeah,
Wow. With the first marriage being so toxic, do you feel emotionally safe in this current marriage?
yes, I do. I do
Mhm.
feel emotionally safe. I don't like to protect myself. I don't like to put my emotions out because I've been in situations where you get too open with your feelings and you think you're at a safe place and you let it out and it gets thrown back in your face later on.
With that being said, but isn't that a hindrance to intimacy? Does that come back and bite you long term?
It can. It can. It does. it have done, to where I'm so upset about something, and then it gets to a point to where it boils over,
Mm-hmm.
and I spaz out, or like the young folks say,
Crash
crash
out.
out.
Yeah, that's very common nowadays.
So
Is there any way that any way that you can change that at this point?
working on myself. I try to stay close to God.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make sure I'm in church for Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
I recently had an obligation that I felt was I was so busy trying to chase money, but not realizing how blessed I was.
Mm-hmm.
So busy trying to chase money, but I'm realizing my distance is getting further and further away from God. Where I'm not going to Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You're
missing
not in the
other church.
community of
Yeah,
other men
not in the
either.
community of the man,
Mhm.
missing church functions, chop it up, because I was always trying to chase that money. And I'm like, you know what? This ain't doing me no good.
Yeah.
It's not building me.
I feel like it's those little small micro things that end up building like huge bricks and walls, between relationships with whether it's God or our spouses. It's just the little tiny thing. Do you think that you're the same man that you were that she married?
No, I don't think so. And
And how have you
that's
changed?
well, for one thing, I'm a 2-time stroke survivor.
Mm,
Had one at 22, and where I end up with a artificial heart valve.
wow.
And then I had another one last year, which resulted with a brain bleed. So I had half of my skull cut out. This is at the time where that gentleman sued Emory because they said they lost half of his skull.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't me, but I was, for like a good 4 or 5 months, I walked around with this side of my head soft.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's a 3D printed artificial skull out of coral.
Wow.
So I know there was some head trauma. There was some trauma I've been through, and worked through that. Shout out to my mother-in-law who came in town from Birmingham as a retired nurse and took care of me.
Wow.
While I was out.
I feel like God knew what he was doing when he placed you two together.
Yes.
So with the trauma, does that make it where you may have mood swings and you may be a different person towards her?
I think I do have mood swings. I think I do. And I think it's mostly because the trauma and also my line of work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I'm dealing with hostile people and everything. So I've had to tell her, I said, listen, you know what I do for a living. If I got to deal with hostile people all day, I shouldn't want to be the person that I love to be hostile towards me. Because I explained this to my dad yesterday. I said, I got 5 different personalities.
Mm.
You got James Jones, that's my professional name. Got Terrence. I did say my last name, but wait. They said Google it. Got Terrence, that's what my family calls me. Then there's Officer Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Jamarcus. Jamarcus just got out of prison.
I know we did.
Trying to do just right, but if you push him, he could go back hood on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Pitbull. Pitbull is just the war dog. There's nothing you can say to calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
He's going for the jugular. And
do you feel like you understand when you're going in between those?
Yeah, I know I do. I know I do, and that's when I'm having a conversation with my wife and with her having an argument. I'm saying, stop pushing me. Stop pushing. She's not physically pushing me,
Mm-hmm.
but she's saying things. And I'm like, stop pushing me. Stop pushing me. And I keep saying that, and she keeps going. And then next thing you know, I crash out, and I got something crazy coming out my mouth.
Mm.
And now I got to go apologize to her. Babe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that, but kept pushing me. Why is it so hard for you to stop and just leave me alone? I said, I'm knowing I'm losing control. And you pushing me, and you pushing me. And after a while, okay, here's Pitbull.
I was listening to a podcast a while back, and they had rules for arguing, meaning that they had specific things that they could and could not do. Do you think that would help in some way? Some people say no because
I don't think so. I'm not talking negative about my wife whatsoever. I just think that sometimes you can't, when you learn some things, you got to practice what you're preaching.
Mhm.
Don't preach me about what you do what you learn in class, but you're not practicing it. So as a couple, I think that we could learn something in the same class,
Mhm.
and you throw it back at me like, well, you remember in the class this was said, and I'm like, do you remember? Were you in the class too? So what's the problem? Why
Mm.
I gotta be the one go back read the books?
Mhm.
Why I gotta be the one to calm myself down? Why I gotta calm myself down with my wife anyway? Just it's just relationship is hard,
Mhm.
but like they said, it's worth fighting for.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, when we're in the barbershop, that's one of the main things that you have mentioned before. Like, this is a relationship that you want to fight for and that you want to be in.
One hundred
I,
percent.
I just think that people are human, and sometimes you go through different things, which is another reason why I have this podcast is to show that like there are things that you go through, even though you absolutely love your spouse, that y'all just go through. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah. 13 years, ain't all been peaches and cream,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't have it no other way.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for another 13 years, another 26 years.
Mhm.
Like my parents been married for 51 years. My dad is my mom's primary caregiver.
Mhm.
When I say God broke the mold when he made my dad, there's nobody like my dad.
Mm.
Nobody. I mean, this man, 75 years old, take care of my mom who has Alzheimer's dementia, gets her dressed, coordinates her clothing, everything. I
Mhm.
mean, just all around. I spent the whole day yesterday with them, and that's love. That's love. I said, when I go through hard times in my relationship,
Yeah.
I think about you and mom.
Mhm.
I'm like, that's what I want to be. I want to have that love to where if my wife goes through that situation, no, I'm not giving up. Because you have guys out there who they will put their wife in a nursing home and
In a minute.
hit the road.
Or if she gets heavy, they're like, "I'm
They're
done."
gone.
You
My
know.
dad was like, no, that's my baby.
Mhm.
That's my gal. I ain't going
Yeah.
nowhere. Nobody could take care of her better than I can. Because he actually said that when we have caregivers and he go out, shopping or whatever trip he go out, he's more worried about what does this person take care of her mom
Mm.
because he
Mhm.
don't trust them
Mhm.
like he trusts himself. So unless it's either me or my sister that's over there, then or our kids, then he's cool. But other than that, if it's not James Jones, he don't trust you around my mom.
So I wonder what he would say what the gap is between the daily work of getting to that level of love and when you first get married. Because, day 1 of marriage is not the same as day 4,000 and such and such or whatever.
Let me tell you a story
Mm.
about my parents. My parents actually knew each other for like first grade.
Mm.
Same small country town. They always knew. In fact, it's not just my dad and my mom that's married. One of my dad's brother is married to my mom's sister.
Oh, okay.
So we like family is 2 times deep.
Mhm.
And so when my dad went to Vietnam, came back from Vietnam, got my mom, we went to Jersey. That's where me and my sister was born. Right behind the East Side High. I remember seeing the dumpster on fire. I said, Dad, am I go to school there? He said, no, we're going back to Georgia. We getting out of here.
Yeah.
So it's always been there. And I told my dad yesterday, I've never heard them argue,
Mhm.
never seen them fight. I don't know if it's behind the closed doors type thing.
Mhm.
Never had no idea if anything was wrong in the relationship.
Mhm.
If my mom always used my dad as a threat, I'm gonna tell your dad. It wasn't when your dad come home next week or whatever. I'm gonna tell your dad, you knew you was getting in trouble that night when he came home.
Wow.
But it's always been mom and dad. Always.
I wonder because you had that visual aid growing up, is that the reason why you got out so quickly out of the first marriage? Because I feel like there's a lot of men I've talked to who will, they're actually in domestic violence relationships, but they'll
Hmm.
stay and they'll stay and they'll stay and they stay.
For those of you that think that men getting abused by their wives, it's a joke. Mm, mm-mm. I've had times where, not trying to be violent, I had to sleep out on a patio of an apartment because I walk out to cool out and come out, the door is locked,
Mm.
can't get back in. Jumping off the balcony, walk around to the front door locked, can't get back in the house. Just learn, like, no, I know where I'm at.
Mm.
Can't walk around here too much longer and I get locked up.
Mm-hmm.
So go back to my parents' house, and eventually, like I said, this don't make no sense. Going through this, I'm getting out of this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to pay child support, so be it. Went through all that, where walking court for child support, I'm the only guy in the suit. Everybody else in the county orange,
Wow.
and took me to child support because she wanted more money, and the judge saw him pay stuff like, he's paying you too much now.
I've never heard those words.
And he said, Mr. Jones, go
Wow.
downstairs and sign up for child support. No, Your Honor. Go sign up for child support. No, I'm handling it. Either you go down or hold your contempt of court. Okay. Went down
Mm.
there, signed up. Well, this is your order. You pay this amount, this much. What you say? Yeah, you was paying too much. So do you mean to tell me the money I got in my pocket now, I don't have to give to her? No, that's your money. You already settled your obligations. You good. Peace out.
Mm.
Walking out the courtroom, lady leaned over, gave me her phone number. You're a good man. Let's go out together. Nope. You ain't here because you got somebody up there in that box in that corner orange. No, I'm not gonna be a part. No, I'm done with this. No more child support with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a pretty good relationship with your son now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We talk every day.
Mm-hmm.
Young little musclehead, but he's starting to get his bearings now. My kids know what I went through
Mm-hmm.
because they see it now. But
Yeah, I was going to ask what you feel like you've taught them by you going through the things that you went through.
well, my daughter, she's married. Got my beautiful granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
They do their thing. They had their fun. So, but I've heard my daughter defend me about her mom. She, went at her mom like, stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Leave him alone. He ain't doing nothing to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's,
I'm sure that felt good.
Yeah, it felt good. Like, okay, because their mother don't like my wife now. But my daughter would tell her, nope, you messed that up.
Mm-hmm.
He's happy now. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
So it takes a while, and it takes a lot of growing on my part,
Mm-hmm.
and patience, praying.
Do you have outside of like the church, do you have like a almost a sorority, but fraternity?
Actually, I am part of a fraternity. It's a military fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have a DD 214 to get in it. I'm not gonna say the name because we're not supposed to. It's trademark, all that stuff. So, but they know who they are.
So you do have community. That's good.
Do have community. So, do have friends I could call on if things really get really, really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly learning how to calm myself down.
Mm.
Don't get too hot-headed.
Yeah.
Do not let Pitbull out.
Yeah.
Because once he come out, there's no cage big enough to get him in.
Mm.
He's just out and he's going for the jugular. So it takes a lot of growth to be able to calm yourself down.
Yeah.
And not find other outlets as far as drinking, and which therefore really causes Pitbull to come out. So try to stay away from that. Try to work on that. But
yeah, I worked for corrections for many years, and so there's a point in time that my cousin, she was like, "You're being an a-hole," and I was like, "What?" Because just being in that environment all the time, you take on your environment, And so that was like a domino effect when it came to like what was going on in the household. And this is one of my biggest regrets is that raising my children, working in corrections, I feel like I wasn't a soft mother. I wasn't um, kind. I was rough,
The
not
CO all the
understanding.
time.
Yeah, not under, and I was actually nursing, but not realizing that that environment was spilling over into my home life. And so I'm thinking with the corrections and then the traumatic the brain issues and stuff, that would be challenging for both of you because
Mm,
maybe there's times that you're not realizing how you're coming across, and that would be hard to work with.
Yeah. And it's one thing I try to communicate with her. I said, listen, I try my best to think of what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
How am I saying it?
Mm-hmm.
How am I delivering it? And how you going to possibly take it?
Mm.
Do I deserve the same respect back? Because some seem like you just go off the handle, say what you want to say. And because I'm the one trying to keep the peace, I don't say nothing. All that's doing is building up inside
Yeah.
of me to where I'm at a point to where I just crash out.
Mm-hmm. And crash out is never the goal.
It is never the
It-
good. It's a crash is not good. An airplane
no,
crash, a car crash is
no,
not good.
none
So
of that.
a marital crash is definitely not good. It causes a strain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of things that I dealt with relationship wise cause my medical conditions
Mm.
because I'm holding stuff in
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to bury it, trying to keep the peace, trying to be. It's just
What was the root of that? Who told you couldn't speak? Because I feel like
it
men
was
and boys
it
are
was from my
told.
past relationship, my first marriage, where I spoke my mind. Marriage lasts a year,
Mm.
and I don't want a year of marriage. I
Mm.
want my parents' marriage. You
Mm.
know, 50 years in the game, 51 years married, and that's what I want. So I've learned shut my mouth. I try to prevent I told you so moment.
Mm-hmm.
If I make a suggestion and she, take the suggestion and use it, ooh. If she don't do it and something else happen, I don't try to go to where I told you so. I see this is what I told you. I told you this was gonna happen, but you didn't want to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like talking like that.
Mm.
Sure.
And that was you've only had 2 significant relationships?
Yep.
Wow.
It's too significant. There's a few other side pieces,
Yeah, we don't
but
talk about
we
that.
ain't gonna go there
Nah, we don't need to do that.
because
But
she knows about those.
mhm.
Those so I was
I
honest.
mean, we don't know, but we're not going to address
Yeah.
that right now. But that's interesting how a short period of time for a man or a traumatic relationship can domino decades later,
Yes.
and you still be dealing with the fallout from that.
Mhm.
What do you tell your sons about, or your son
I tell my
relationship?
son, listen, first of all, what is your gut? What is your heart saying? Do you want to be with this person? You see yourself trying to be better because of this person?
Mm.
Or do you see yourself trying to be distant from that person?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you want. If that's who you want, go for it. If you don't think nothing good gonna come out of it, don't go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone. So dude, what HE double hockey sticks I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Never, not talking negative about his mom, but I say, the mess I've been through. But the last time for my grandson birthday, he had his mom dog with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she came to pick the dog up, and he was out there cursing her out. And I ran out there, punched him dead in his chest. I said, I don't care. You know me and your mom don't get along, but you're not gonna disrespect your mom like that in front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, ain't this the same woman that gave you all the mess? And you are, yes, that's your mom.
Yeah.
No matter what we going through, you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That was my dad coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't put your hands on a woman. Don't let me see you do it. And you're not gonna disrespect your mom like that. And he was just like stunned, like yeah, dude, there's a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Because the stuff will come back on you. And It's not what you want. You do not want that smoke.
Now, how old is your son?
He's 23 now.
23. Okay. So is he in a relationship?
He's, he's as you said, he's a better looking version of me. So he has
things going on. Okay, we'll just leave that right there. Are you able to, I guess maybe, does he go to you to guide him in his relationships? Or you just hear about,
Sometimes he do call me,
Mm-hmm.
and what gets me is how he'll call me, hey, old man, tell me why whatchamacallit. Tell you why what? What is it whatchamacallit? Well, you know what I'm saying? Dude, I need English. I don't know what you're saying. I can't give you nothing, you know. And he'll ask me a question. I said, well, listen, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm trying to prevent for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's my point. And I'll go down the list. I'll slow it down for him. Chill out, dude. Listen to me. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to tell you how to enjoy your life and maximize your life.
Does he go to your dad for counseling too? Or like just input?
Now when he go, I'm quite sure they talk, because every now and then he will pop over at my parents' house to help my dad with anything. But I'm quite sure they talk, because my dad, me and Jared had a conversation. He won't go into it as to what they talk about, but okay, I know my dad. If the words you gave him were the same words you gave me, I have no concerns. But my dad does not tell nobody business.
I love that. I love that. He's secret keeper.
He is a secret keeper.
Taking it to the grave.
That man, he is a Bronze Star winner from the Vietnam era. And for the past 5 years, Dad, what did you do to earn that? I don't know. My neighbor is a Navy veteran also. And he saw the Bronze Star in front of my dad's tray. He said, that's something special. What'd he do? I don't know. He won't tell me.
Wow.
He said, and he will not, I'd be trying to pick his mind about Vietnam. He will not say nothing. I said, Dad, I Googled Bronze Star winners and what they did. But he won't say nothing.
Yeah, very interesting.
He'll shift it to my mom.
He sounds like a true caregiver. A true caregiver. Well, what I want to know, to end this, what would you tell your 23-year-old self before you got married, before all of it?
Exact words I told my dad yesterday. I said, Dad, when I'm talking to the other young man, I tell him, listen, if I have listened to everything my parents told me and did everything they did, I probably would have had a house on the moon by now. I probably would have been the black Elon Musk.
Wow.
But I would tell myself, take your time, think about your actions, think before you speak, stop trying to party too hard, and just maximize your efforts and be more positive for other individuals, because we all know about that circle of life for young black men, and you need other older black men to be talking to the young folks, and need the younger folks to be listening and taking that knowledge as, you just trying to tell me what to do. Oh, dude, I'm trying to make your life easier than what mine was.
Yeah, because there's nothing new under the sun. So
there's nothing new. Bell bottoms coming back, afros coming back.
All of it.
All this will be returned.
Jerry curls.
I'm done with that.
Well, okay. Anyways, well, James, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you.